Alright guys, so today I wanted to give you a really quick update to our Wall Crasher guide. I spent most of the day today going over some things with the community, and we have really optimized this build to where there's not much left to do with it. Between my community members and I, a lot of times we can get upwards of 3 to even 4 billion damage in a public lobby using this build, which is essentially the entire enemy's health pool. So I'm not going to spend too much time in this video because we do have another Wall Crasher video, so if you haven't seen it, please go check that video out as well. That video is going to tell you everything you need to know about the basics of the Wall Crasher and get you familiar with the fight. This is definitely going to be a much faster guide. But having said all that, guys, let's go ahead and hop into the video. So as always, we're going to go ahead and check out our weapons first. And we are still using the Albion Cavalry Gun. We do like this because it is a crush type, and 3 of the Wall Crasher's points are weak to crush. So for the cores on this is what we're looking at. We're looking at double chill attack, double fire rate, and 1 firearm critical hit damage. For the roll down bottom, we're going to go ahead and go with multi-hit chance, multi-hit damage, firearm critical hit damage, and 1 chill attack. Now for the roll on this weapon, we did switch it up just a little bit. Because of the way Serena's 4 scales, we did reevaluate what we had on this weapon. Her 4 scales off the weapon's damage and your HP, but it doesn't really include critical hit in that. So we prioritized a little bit more weak point in this build, and some of that did come at the cost of some of our multi-hit chance. Now that doesn't mean that we neglected our critical hit rate and damage. We do still have critical hit rate and damage on here. Outside of that, we did ratchet up the base damage just a little bit, added some fire rate up, and finished it off with a chill enhancement mod. So for the reactor on this, we're going to go ahead and just go with a skill duration up and a skill cooldown down reactor. Outside of that, it does not matter what type of reactor this is or what is on your reactor. We're not actually doing any raw skill damage, we're doing what is considered additional damage. And that additional damage will not factor in any of your skill power, so do not worry about it. The big thing to have on here is just max rolls on your duration up and your cooldown down. Now, when it comes to the components here, we do want a 2-piece ascending armory and we do want a 2-piece shell crusher. The 2-piece shell crusher is mainly for the 5% fire rate increase. Now, the 2% ascending armory does give us a little bit of a cost reduction, but with the build that I'm getting ready to show you, that is actually not that important. But in lieu of anything better, we are going to go ahead and use these 2 pieces just because of the additional HP that they give you. The other thing I want to point out is going to be making sure you get the HP rolls on your cores here as high as humanly possible. As we mentioned before, Serena's 4 scales off of your max HP, and it is capped at 39,000. So if you look down below, you can see that I'm actually sitting at 38,900, which is very close to the cap. And if you were to roll your components out, you can probably eke this up to 39,000, but it will be very, very, very close. So for the inversion reinforcement, this is what we're actually looking at. We're going to go ahead and go with firearm control mechanism, strike point amp, and chill focus rounds. Firearm control mechanism is going to give us a little bit more multi-hit chance and multi-hit damage. Strike point amp is going to give us a little bit more weak point on multi-hits. And chill focus rounds is going to give us a little bit more chill attack on our weapons. The other benefit of having chill focus rounds is going to be this enhanced focus rounds. As you stack up bypass immunity, all attribute resistance will be -4% for 30% up to 5 stacks. So this is just a nice thing to really enhance your damage. Now for our Arche tuning, this is actually what we're looking at. I did change this up a little bit from our prior build, and that's because we're not as worried about getting our skill costs down. So because of that, we can actually go ahead and pick up a few extra HP nodes, and that's what we did here. Again, we're really trying to push as close to that 39,000 as we can, and this is going to help us do that. Alright, so for the mods, this is what we're actually looking at. Now, the community really pressed me hard, and I did decide to try a Final Wish build over my multi-talented build. I've been a big fan of the multi-talented build for a while, but after some arm twisting, I did give in and try this out, and I gotta say that it does work out really well, but it really works out well as long as you have Arche Leak on here. So Final Wish really does reduce the cost of your skills by quite a bit, but that's not enough to carry the build. When you pair that with Arche Leak, when you use your one on the boss, you will be getting MP back, and that is absolutely huge. So from our last build, because we took multi-talented off, we ended up having to put focus on fire on here as well as focus on singular, and we put those on in place of some of our cost reduction and some of our MP recovery mods. Outside of that, everything else is the exact same on here. Our goal here is to get our HP as high as we can, get our cooldowns as low as we can, and get our duration up as long as we can. We really want to be able to keep uptime on our 4. Alright guys, so now I'm going to explain how to play this build, and it is very straightforward, but there are a few little things you need to know. This build is going to allow you to press the wall crasher non-stop, and that's what we're gonna do. As soon as the fight starts, sprint to the front side of the wall crasher. Once you get there, jump in the air, pop your 4, turn your wings on, and dash yourself up to the air. Now, I typically start on the shoulders first, and then do the chest piece, and then do the knees when it comes to weak points. Just pick any one of these weak points and lay down heavy fire. Now, once you get good at this build, you actually don't want to wait until you hear the reload sound. You want to dash right before the reload sound happens. You don't even need to let off of your trigger. Just keep holding down the trigger and dash right before you should reload. This will actually shove the bullets into your gun without ever removing your magazine. Now, because you're dashing, your gun kind of will shoot up in the air for a second, but that's not really that big of a deal, and then it'll come right back to on target. Now, after you empty your first magazine, go ahead and use a 1 on the boss. This is going to start your Arche leak, and it's going to start to get you ammo back for your light machine gun. After you use your 1, go ahead and re-proc your 4. From here, this is basically a rinse and repeat. You do not want to proc your 4 early if you don't have to. The important part here is to keep putting damage down range as fast as you can, and that's going to get your damage numbers up as high as possible. So pop your 4 on cooldown. Outside of that, use your 1 mainly to manage your rounds. If you start to notice that you're getting low on rounds, say sub 200, go ahead and throw a 1 back out there. Also, if you notice that your Arche leak icon is not lit up, throw a 1 back out there. If you do this properly, you should be able to stay in the air the entire time the fight is going on without ever needing to go down and pick up rounds or MP. And that is basically all you need to know about this fight. I do want to mention 2 really quick tips. The first tip is if you have the boss on you, do not go all over the place. Everybody is trying to line up and put shots in on the target. And if you are spinning around the boss or making the boss look in a bunch of different directions, you are just hurting everybody else's DPS. Do not do this. I've seen tons of people and tons of teams do this. It is just a mess and a waste of time for everybody. Do not run the boss into the wall. A lot of people will back the boss up into the wall and make it impossible for other people to get around and do damage. Try to keep the boss out in the middle of the arena and facing outwards if possible. All right, guys, and that's it. That's everything I have for this build. Now, I do want to give a big shout out to a lot of different members of my community. I want to thank Senity, I want to thank Hunt, I want to thank Crazy, I want to thank Honest Abe, and everybody else who was around that pushed me to try some of these different things in the build and really helped us to come up with a really optimized build for the community. The best part about a Twitch and a YouTube community together is that we can all work together to build each other up and make the best guides we can and provide the best information for everyone so we can all enjoy the content. And I'm very happy that I'm able to do that, and I'm very blessed to have such an amazing community that is willing to work together to come up with the best builds possible. So if you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing for more First Descendant content as well as other content here in the future. We do have a lot of other great games releasing, and we're going to do what we can to cover as many games as humanly possible. And if you want to get to know me and the community, consider coming over and watching us at our YouTube live streams or over on Twitch. We do stream 5 days a week, and we would absolutely love to have you over there. That being said, all that, guys, thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day.